Hi everyone, my name is Dylan, and today I'd like to show you 5 creative design hacks that you can try out for yourself very easily in GoDaddy Studio. So let's jump right on in, and I'm going to show you the first one, which is using a blurred image background. Now, this is a really popular and quite beautiful way to present photography, and you've probably seen this a lot used in social media posts. It's a really simple look to achieve. So all you'll do is start with your original image. You'll tap it once, hit duplicate to make a copy of that image, and now you have another version sitting on top, and I'm just going to very easily resize that in the center. Then I'm going to jump back on this background layer, hit edit, and navigate to the blur function or the blur tool. And once I'm here, I can use this slider to moderate the blur as much as I would like, either very extreme or very subtle, somewhere in the middle. And of course, once you've done that, it's very easy just to make some final adjustments, resizing your image relative to the background. And one final idea you might want to try on top of that is to add a shape. A rectangular frame can be a really good idea, just to create a very simple border, adding to the sense of separation between the foreground and the background. Right, now another cool way to use the blur tool is creating the illusion of a glowing or neon effect to graphics. So in this example, I just started with this very simple Frankenstein icon graphic. It definitely helps to have something with nice, clear, bold lines. And what I've done is tapped edit. I changed the color to something quite vivid and almost neon. And then what I've done is just, again, make a duplicate of this layer. And in my layer stack, I'm going to jump onto the version of that graphic underneath. And again, I'll navigate to the blur tool. And in this case, I'm going to crank it all the way up to 100. You'll see it starts to induce this subtle glow. And then what I like to do, just to really bring the effect home, is to duplicate that blurred layer once more. And you'll see that intensifies the effect of that glow. Another really fun design idea to try out is an expression of the collage aesthetic, which is hugely popular at the moment. And in this rather pop version, what we're doing is cutting out the foreground figure, but giving them a white outline that just separates the foreground from the background. It's really popular in things like YouTube thumbnails, Instagram stories, and again, it's something very easy to try out for yourself. So you'll start with your hero image, tap edit, and for this you're going to use the remove image background tool. Just give that a single tap, and that does very quick work of cutting out the background. So now we have our foreground figure on this pattern graphic background, but because they're both quite busy images, what we want to do is create that outline to add some separation. And all we're going to do in this case is, again, tap the foreground layer. We're going to duplicate that layer, and in my layer stack I'm going to jump to the version of the image at the back underneath. And now I'm going to use the toolbar and navigate to the tint tool. And what you want to do is make sure the opacity is up to 100% and the color is white in this instance. It could be any color, but I'm just going to show you white for now. And once you've done that, you can then start to just gradually enlarge that background layer, and that essentially creates a white outline on your foreground. All right, the next hack is one of my personal favorites. It involves taking a clean digital image and giving it a retro film photograph look and feel. So to do this, we're going to use several graphics and the blend tool. So you will start with your hero image, and the first thing I'd like to do is add a sense of texture to this. So I'm going to go to the graphics library. There are a few options here. You could search for texture, dust, scratch, grain, things like that. Personally, I found this Textures Ancient pack to be a really useful graphic for this type of thing. I'm going to put it right over the image, and then I'm going to move on over to the blend tool right at the far right hand side of the toolbar. And in this instance, I'm going to put it in overlay mode, and you'll see that that just adds a really cool sense of texture to this image. Now the next layer I'm going to add is a light leak. We have a whole stack of these in our graphics library. You just again put it on top of your image and navigate to the blend tool. In this instance, I think screen looks really good. Screen mode give that just a final tweak. And then to wrap it up, what I like to do is just add a film frame border just to lock in the final effect. And again, we have a whole range of options. I would suggest putting it in a black color and then just using it to frame up your final image. What you might want to do at the very end is just jump back onto your hero image and scroll through some of the different photo filters, which can just add that really cool finishing touch. And then the final design hack I'd like to show you today is something we call the cutout text effect. Essentially what you're doing is creating the illusion of your text being almost like cutout windows to an image or a design behind the words. And again, super easy to do. All you want to start with is some black on white text. I would definitely suggest something quite bold and chunky. In this example, I'm using, let's see, this is Dingo's font, so that's going to work pretty well. And then all I'm going to do now is add an image on top of that. And then I'm going to just reposition the image to cover the text. Again, I'm going to be using the blend tool, scroll all the way to the right hand side and find the lighten mode. And then you can just make some final tweaks by just repositioning that image in relation to the text. These are just some of the ways you can get really creative with GoDaddy Studio, so try it out for yourself by downloading the free app. All the links you need are in the description below. Thanks as always for watching, and please subscribe if you want to keep learning about GoDaddy Studio. I'll see you next time.